Greetings, fellow scribes! Welcome back to the archive. This video is part of my series on the individual tribes of Werewolf the Apocalypse. I will be going into each tribe covering the same basic details, their history and mythology, their biases, strengths, weaknesses, and a bit of information about their camps, their sub-organizations within the tribes. Now, this is going to be a bit of a boilerplate for all of these, so I don't have to redo a video every single one. So sit back, relax, and enjoy as we talk about this tribe. The Children of Gaia are the peaceful warriors of the Garou. They believe in violence as a last resort as opposed to it being a first resort. They believe that the best way, in many cases, to deal with, say, a company wanting to set up a toxic waste dump is to use peaceful protests to steer that away, to divert it to somewhere else, that they can deal with it there, and deal with it there. Otherwise, stop it and just make the whole process so expensive that Pentex abandons the project. That portion doesn't usually work, but they have succeeded often enough in shifting locations. But you have to understand where the Children of Gaia believe that they came from. They hold that the first Children of Gaia are descended from the raised back by Gaia first 5 cubs killed by Garou hands. The first 5 Garou cubs killed by other Garou. And that this is their goal, to make peace, to keep violence from escalating and spinning out of control. During the Impergium, yes, they participated. But at the same time, they were trying to explain why it was wrong. They were trying to get the Impergium lifted and just get it ended because they saw that what was going on was it was making the humans who would hunt Garou stronger. And, they call it the toolmaker's dilemma. Once someone starts making a tool, they then keep making better tools and better tools until eventually they make the tools that are so dangerous that they shouldn't have them. And that is what they see happened with humanity. That the Garou should have, instead of slaughtering humans, should have been trying to teach them in a way similar to what the Uktena and Wendigo did. And they also hold the Wars of Rage to be their great failure. Because what happened during the Wars of Rage with the Children of Gaia was that they tried to make peace. And they would extend a peace meeting to one of the groups of the changing breeds. And that group would show up to the peace meeting and be ambushed by other tribes. They would bring a token of peace that one of the other tribes had them bring, and it would have a fire spirit bound in it to set off a great conflagration to kill a bunch of these other changing breeds. And the Children of Gaia kept trying to make peace and kept having their attempts subverted and perverted, actually, into slaughter and death. And they feel responsible. They feel that the blood of the changing breeds that died from their attempts to make peace is on their hands. They feel guilt on this, which, as you've probably noticed, is a very big theme among most of the tribes. The whole Wars of Rage is an extremely guilty thing for all of the tribes. But the Children of Gaia feel that the most because they were trying to do the right thing. And in their naivete, in their desire to do this right thing, it was used against them. It was used against those that they were trying to help. And from this, they learned their lessons. They learned to distrust their own fellow Garou because they had to. Once the Wars of Rage ended, things went the way they were. Now, an interesting thing with the Children of Gaia is, unlike many of the other tribes, they don't have a region. They're not from anywhere. They don't call anywhere their ancestral homelands. Because they are the Children of Gaia. Everywhere is where they should be. Because they are the Peacemakers. That is the job that their totem unicorn put on them. That is the job that Gaia gave this tribe of all the other tribes of Garou. The job to mitigate the excesses of the other tribes. And for the most part, they do that. Now, they're an interesting tribe in terms of their camps. Most of their camps are all dealing with peace. But there's a big caveat here. Recently, one of their great elders called together an Almut, a gathering of all the Children of Gaia, and proclaimed that camps cause fractiousness, cause division, that the secrets that they kept, secret rituals, the secret gifts, hurt the Children of Gaia as a whole. And while the ideologies might still exist, they needed to stop hoarding this secrecy and instead spread it out, teach others these gifts, and stop cleaving to these camps. And so, effectively, all the camps of Children of Gaia no longer exist. They have officially, within the tribe, been declared no more. The ideologies, though, still exist, and there are still those within the Children of Gaia who still adhere to these ideologies. They're just now willing to teach outside of themselves. Some of the biggest camps I'm going to go over right now. The Anointed Ones. These were the Children of Gaia who believed in total pacifism until the final battle. they would not raise a hand in any circumstances, unless it would be at the final battle of the apocalypse. Needless to say, this was a smaller camp among the Children of Gaia. The Seekers of the Lost Tribes. This is a camp that's doing two things. First, they're trying to find any remnants of the lost tribes of Croatoan, Bunyip, and White Howlers, because they believe that in order to win the final battle of the apocalypse, all the tribes of Garou have to be united. And, the Bunyip, they are always looking for signs of kinfolk. Maybe Tasmanian tigers in the north of Australia. Hey, here's reports of wolves running around North Carolina that sound an awful lot like the wolves that the Croatoan had as their kin. Oh, here's a black spiral dancer Ronin. Maybe it can be kept pure. And that's really just how this group thinks on that. The other side of the coin is they're looking for any of the traces of the other changing breeds that they believe are extinct. Because, strangely, the Garou believe more of the changing breeds were eradicated than actually were. Almost all of them believe the werebears, the Garou, were wiped out, as well as the Macaulay, the were-gators. And so they're trying to find any traces of these groups. Many of these groups still hold a grudge on them, but that's beside the point. They're trying. They're trying to fix the mistakes of the past. The next major camp is called the Imminent Strike. This camp believes application of violence as a scalpel, not a blunt force hammer. They focus on training martial arts. They developed the Children of Gaia's staff fighting technique. And they pass this along. And they are convinced that they will fight at the final battle of the apocalypse alone, because all the other tribes have their own flaws. Like, the Fenrir will fight and they don't care who wins, they just want to fight. The Silver Fangs are too touched in the head. The Black Furies are too imbalanced, with their leaning only towards women. All that. And they don't believe that the other Children of Gaia have what it takes to win a fight for survival at the very end. And so the Imminent Strike focuses on honing their own combat skills, so that when the day of the apocalypse comes, when the final battle comes, they can fight as they have to. And the last of the camps I'm going to talk about is an actual perversion of the very ideas of the Children of Gaia. This camp the Eternal Rest believes that the best way to secure peace is to kill everyone. Just kill all living things. Because then there will be peace. And this is an absolute perversion. And any child of Gaia who meets one of these children of Gaia will be merciful and kill them. Because that is the only way to stop them. They're not necessarily succumb to the worm yet, but the belief system is just so wrong that it is irreconcilable with everything else about not just the Children of Gaia, but of being Garou in general. Of course, once you leave talking about camps, we have to talk about the Children of Gaia's unique view with regards to the litany. You see, the Children of Gaia's approach to the first tenet of the litany is different from most other tribes. Most other tribes take Garou shall not mate with Garou to mean Garou shall not engage in carnal knowledge with other Garou, period. The Children of Gaia pretty much go, as long as you aren't having kids, it's okay. Because this isn't about just straight sex with other Garou. This is about not producing metis. So, be careful. And, yeah, just don't have kids, and it's good. Yeah. The Children of Gaia are a little wonky on this. They're also probably one of the tribes that is more accepting of those of different sexual orientations. Just because, hey, it's not having kids, so it's good. It's peaceful. It's good. You just have to remember at some point to have kids so you're doing your duty to Gaia. And that's the big thing for them. But it's a little bit more convoluted than that. They have a right, the right of the clouds and rain, in which two Garou and Krynos go at it, and it helps suppress and control their rage. Yeah. So, they actually do not really care about this. I mean, the spirits involved in the rite do cause the Garou involved to lose points of honor, but it gives them a way to control their rage, to keep themselves more peaceful. And that is the mindset of the Children of Gaia with these regards. Which, of course, leads to, how do the Children of Gaia treat their metis? Well, the Children of Gaia's metis tend to get the positions in a sept that focus around staying on the sept. These are often significant positions, like the Keeper of the Land, the Guardian of the Cairn, things like that. Because they are raised among the Garou. They are more familiar with spirits, with the land around a cairn, and with just dealing with Garou in general than either Hamid or Lupus Garou. And they look at it as they're a mistake. They're an accident. They're not something inherently wrong, even though they're deformed. But that's Gaia's problem. She's the one that marked them. Whatever she marked them for, that's something for them to find out eventually, but we don't care. In essence, the Children of Gaia are ultimately the best tribe for a Metis to be born into and raised among, because they are going to be treated like anyone else. There's not going to be any judgment, any harsh treatment, any pushing and testing and forcing them to excel in some areas that would never be expected of another Garou. So, ultimately, if you're a Metis, you want to be born to a Child of Gaia parent, or have your parents foster you off at birth to a Child of Gaia sept. And many tribes that chose to not kill Metis children actually used to do this. Especially the Black Furies. Especially male children from the Black Furies would get fostered off to the Children of Gaia, whether they were Metis or not. But that is a topic for another session. And with that, I've pretty much exhausted what I'm talking about the Children of Gaia. They are the peacekeepers of the Garou. They try to mitigate the excesses, the internal strife even, among the various tribes, and try to keep things sort of orderly and keep everyone mostly working together. And so, the next video on this series will be on the Black Furies. That will be the conclusion of this series of videos on the tribes of the Garou Nation. If you like this video, please click like and subscribe down below. There's also, if you have already subscribed, a button that looks like a little bell. Click that, and that will make sure you get notified of any new video posts from this channel. And until the next video, I just want you all to remember to have fun and keep gaming.